What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sikora Success. Today we have our favorite home inspector on, Tom. Is it Filippone? Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Filippone. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Awesome. So we've been working with Tom for quite a bit now. He does majority of our team's inspections, and the clients have raving reviews. So I figured I actually don't know yours. I don't know everybody's story that comes on, but I really don't know your story. Take it back. What were you doing before you got into the home inspection game? And what made you get into it? And yeah, let's kind of dissect that.
Well, first, thanks for having me on. And just like any inspector out there, right? I was a phys ed teacher. Okay, so I had an unorthodox approach. I was teaching in a public school as a health and phys ed teacher. And just like any teacher that's out there, you're working multiple jobs. So I was coaching baseball. I was teaching students how to drive when you get your permit, right? I was doing all these other things. And I did that for 9 years, and it was great. It set me up as a professional in my life, right? I had a good career. I was doing well for myself, and then I got that drive to start a business. It came along a few years ago, right? I just started getting this drive, like, what can I do? How can I start a business? How can I do something more? And one thing led to another. You have to go to school to become an inspector, obviously. And one thing that's great about being a teacher is got a lot of time, right, with summers off, especially a phys ed teacher. So, I took advantage of that time. I had that time to get to the school, do the field hours, because when you first look at it, it's a big undertaking to become an inspector and to start a business and to do all those things. It's a huge commitment. But that's where it started, and it's been a blessing, because as an inspector, you're teaching people along the way. You're talking to people. You have to be personable. You have to be able to explain things and teach things, at each step of the way through an inspection on site. And so that kind of worked hand in hand. It's kind of been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, and I feel like I tell a lot of people too that you don't technically have to go to your inspection, but I usually think it's a good idea just so you can actually see what you're seeing, like firsthand. But you also learn, specifically with a single family home, like you learn so much about your house and how to take care of it and where the filters are and where this, and like you said, it really is like you're taught quite a bit through the experience.
Yeah. An inspection report can look really scary if you weren't there. If you weren't there to see it happen and, okay, this is what this is. Look, it's okay, but this is what needs to be done. The formal report is written kind of scary because, again, it's written formally to state the implication, to state the professional that needs to fix it.
Yep.
For a negotiation, for anything that needs to come up. But again, in person, when you're talking about things, it's super valuable to be there. And then, like you said, to see, here's my main water shutoff. Here's where I change my filter. Those things are super important, especially for people that are first-time home buyers that never had to worry about any of that stuff.
Right. Totally. And I would imagine, when you guys are doing these, well, first off, kudos to you, because I feel like you grew a massive business in a super short amount of time. And like, again, we have a lot of raving fans and stuff behind that, but you're also, dude, you're playing the social media game, like in an incredible way. The videos, the content that you're putting out there, your reports from the dinosaur home inspectors that are like, I'm waiting a week for a report. You had a home inspection for us last Monday or two Mondays ago. Or your partner came out and literally it was like the report was in our inbox by 3 p.m. You did the inspection at 12 and by 3 it's in our inbox.
That was life-changing for us. Life-changing to be able, because I didn't do that my first year, but you adapt, you grow, right? Yeah. With time, you adapt and grow. And then we went on to like the on-site reporting, like you said, and people get the reports sometimes within an hour or same day.
Yep.
And so thank you. I appreciate that,
Yeah. But it's just such a good experience where you're not hunting things down, and it's just an easier report. Like your report, I feel like is less scary looking. It's appropriately written, but it's easier to maneuver versus these long things that look like a gigantic appraisal report or something like that too. It's just more user friendly, and it's cool to see that you're embracing technology.
I keep trying to show you guys the repair request builder too, because everybody loves the repair request builder.
Dude, I've used it.
Yeah, that thing is clutch for especially real estate attorneys. They love that when they get to see that, they're like, oof.
Well, yeah, I see that all the time too. Where actually we used it when my wife and I bought our home. I went and used it, and I boom, and I clicked what I wanted, and then it shot out to I think I copied or something, sent it out to the attorney, but. What's cool about that is there's so many times as a realtor on the seller side of things where I'll receive, or the buyer will say to us too, hey, I want 3F, 3D, 12Q, and I'm sitting there, and fortunately I have a big screen monitor, but like I'm sitting there trying to type out and make it clean for the attorney. So that's such a huge. I
don't get too much credit for that. That's my software, but like you said, like I put in an investment to have what I believe is to be the best software to deliver what I'm trying to strive for is the best service.
Right. So, and like one of the things we were talking about too, I mean, what are, on the new construction side of things, like I've seen scenarios where a town inspector signs off on something, but it's not necessarily means it was done the way that it should have been done. And then then the seller turns like, what are some, I've had properties like you do tank sweeps too for oil tanks. I've had properties where the seller bought with a tank sweep and then swears there's no oil tank. And I'm like, just pay the $250. There might be another tank on that property,
Yeah, I had that come up a few months ago, actually, and it was in the most unorthodox location ever. They were like, we took a tank out up in the top of the driveway. It was a house that was set up with a masonry wall kind of at the sidewalk level, and then you had your public sidewalk. And I found I was pretty adamant. I said, this is a tank right here. They ended up having to have a GPR company come out. But sure as anything, there was a tank on the public sidewalk, buried underneath the public sidewalk. And those people that had bought the house probably 6 years prior were adamant, there's no tanks here, but you have to play it safe with that. As far as the new constructions, you brought up the new constructions. Of course, you're going to be dealing with better finishes usually, and things are pretty clean cut. They haven't been used yet. But just because a city inspector came in doesn't mean that every single outlet in the entire place was tested and that they're not going to have an open ground or reverse polarity where the hot and the neutral wires are switched. These kind of errors happen. And until you start testing everything out inside the house, you're not going to find out.
Yeah. And especially with like new construction or even a flip or rehab or anything like that, it's a lot nicer to catch that stuff before you move in, because they can probably get that taken care of for less than you can, because there's probably a warranty on the electrical from the service that electrician provided to that seller that may not transfer over to you on the buy side. So it's always better to grab that stuff before.
Same thing with the HVAC systems. Like those times you go to turn the HVAC system on and all of a sudden it's not firing up, and it might just be a simple fuse. But that stuff's all under warranty, and they just installed it. They're going to get that taken care of.
Yep. No, totally. We saw recently the C wire on the HVAC thermostat or something like that was connected at the thermostat, but it wasn't connected at the HVAC. So then that drained I don't know, something happened there, but it was just a simple wire wasn't hooked up.
And then the fan won't kick on, and then you're not getting any response from the system because of that.
Yeah. So a lot of time, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the things, not a lot of things that we find are minor, but a lot of the things that you don't think you're going to find are minor. And then every now and then you come across those that oil tank under the or something.
And you come across a lot of crazy things I could go on and on and on. Just this last week, we found so you're not allowed to put a sump pump into the main sewer line, right? It's illegal. Just the implication is if city backs up, then it's regurgitating the city water, right? So the implication of that is you have to put it out to the exterior of the house. But they used an old Pathmark ricotta cheese container to actually connect it and fit it into the main sewer line. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was like the old Pathmark ricotta cheese container literally plugged into the main sewer line. It's just funny stuff, but at the same time, it's got to be fixed. It's just crazy things that we'll find. But you need to know what the implication of that is. Why are we calling it out too? Right. And that's an important part of the process.
Right. No, totally, man. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that, I say it with attorneys, it's the same with home inspectors, the same with lenders as well. It's one of those, you don't always want the cheapest. You want the best person for the job. And you can probably find, you're very reasonably priced. I'm sure there's somebody out there that does it for less and whatnot, but it's just one of those things you don't want to skimp on. It's almost like an insurance policy, and you grab it and get everything up front and try to get what you can repaired. And honestly, you're not, especially the seller's market right now, you're not always, but at least you know what your repairs are going to be what's going to be coming up down the road from you. If the windows are shot, the seller's not going to do anything about it maybe, but at least I have to budget for that 5 years down the road.
Exactly. I keep telling because so much stuff is as is. And you have to, when you go to the negotiation table, maybe 95% of the stuff that I put in the report are non-negotiable because of the given terms of the contract.
Right.
But it still gives you an outlook on, okay, what do I need to plan for?
Yep.
All right. I wasn't planning on my HVAC system being 27 years old. I didn't realize. Now I need to know that I'm going to either budget for a new system, or I'm going to really look into a warranty program, something that I can have to just give me a little peace of mind. So when I move in, if this thing does go, I'm prepared for it. So it's preparation. It's just preparation for a buyer.
And that's a good point too. We talk about the warranties often. I know clients that have gotten them. I've personally never done one on a property. Is there a company that you recommend on the warranty? I know like PSE&G Worry Free is one of them. They'll do it through that, but that's not a bad idea. The one, like, I know my father uses them and actually hasn't, it might be American Shield or something, American, I don't know. But I feel like it's worked out well for him in a few scenarios with central air and stuff.
Same thing. I don't have a personal experience, but I hear a lot of people talk about good experiences with that PSE&G Worry Free. So I'll just drop a mention on it, especially when there's an older system in the house. Hey, look, just because I'm putting in the report that this system is beyond its life expectancy, you can't there's nothing to say in a negotiation when it comes to that, but you can be prepared and now go get that type of a warranty program. Some realtors, and they have like different programs that I hear them mention, like, oh, we have a homeowner's warranty program, but I hear a lot of people swear by it. Like you just said, your dad had good experiences. It's
a good way to play it. Cause we're depending on where you're purchasing, we've been seeing more and more of that, for the last 18 months or so, where, heck, it's like people are trying to blow up a deal over an HVAC system, which is $8,000, but they're saying, their interest rates 2.65% or something like that. Something crazy where if you just, or the prices are rising so much that, like, if you had just bought it, that HVAC system would essentially be free with the equity that you would have gotten, or you've saved an interest with them being up at 3.25% today or something like that. So it's kind of like you get in the game, and I understand it kind of sucks to have to go out and buy that new HVAC system or put a new roof on a house or something like that. But those are those items that last for 25 years.
And then you're raising the value of the house. You're raising the value yourself.
Exactly. So cool, man. Well, service areas. I know we use you pretty much everywhere where we work. What's your perfect world?
We're pretty centrally located in Jersey. We're in Union County. So that gives us the ability to go south, west, north, all areas. We go as far as Sussex County, and we go as south as Ocean County. I've done a few jobs recently in Burlington County.
Okay.
That's not our main focus, but we will go as far as Ocean County, Burlington County, and as far north as the entire state. So we're only missing like 2 or 3 counties down in the far south of Jersey, just because of travel time. But otherwise, we're covering almost the whole state. So
awesome. That's good to know. And how would somebody, buyer, seller, realtor, how would they get in touch with you?
So we have our website, www.tfhomeinspection.com. I also have a full-time admin assistant who handles scheduling pretty much 24/7. People contact her at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I don't advise it, but she's there always to help people out with scheduling. Her number is 908-463-3423. And people could schedule online. They can contact her to schedule. They have a multitude of options on which way they wanted to go if they wanted to contact us and reach out to us for setting up an inspection.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you being a part of our family, being on here, and
thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I was licensed for 1 week when I came in and saw you guys. That was many moons ago, but hey, it worked out for everybody, and I'm glad we have a great working relationship. Everything has been really awesome to this point, and I appreciate you guys a ton.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much.